Dear viewers, you welcome to this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Équinoxe Television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Bable Jonathan. In our top stories in this edition of the news, one person dies of the COVID-19 in Boya, southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, raising the number of the COVID-19 deaths in Cameroon to 8 and 284 confirmed cases. And the director of the World Health Organization has warned that in the days ahead, the world will record at least 1 million confirmed cases and 50,000 deaths related to the COVID-19 pandemic. And the divisional officer of the senior division officer of the Donga-Mantum division in the northwest region of Cameroon has threatened to seal all business places that are not respecting government's anti-COVID-19 measures. Thanks, dear viewers, for joining us on this edition of the news on Équinoxe Television. One person has died of the COVID-19 in the southwest regional chief town, Boya, and this last case raises the number of COVID-19 deaths in Cameroon to 8 and 284 confirmed cases. The Prime Minister and Head of Government, Chief Dr. Joseph John Gute, and over 17 members of government and some strategic partners of the country reviewed the situation of Cameroon during a video conference today in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. And during the 3-hour video conference, the government examined the rapid spread of the COVID-19 and the rapid increase in the number of confirmed cases and deaths in the Republic of Cameroon, and agreed on the need to step up the fight against coronavirus, and more stringent measures are expected in the days ahead with regards to the fight against COVID-19 in the Republic of Cameroon. Officer of the Donga-Mantum division in the crisis-hit northwest region of the Republic of Cameroon has warned that he is going to seal all business places, notably beer parlors, entertainment sites that are not respecting the instructions of the government's anti-COVID-19 measures. He was speaking during a sensitization tour in his area of command. For me, Armstrong Sander reports.
We come for tell when I say that coronavirus not true thing.
Taking the relay baton from the central government, Dr. Do Simon Quenti, Senior Divisional Officer for the Donga-Mantum, and Ms. Tangida Lawrence Chair, Gio from Kambe, took the measures against COVID-19 to the local population of Kambe. On a public square to a public square sensitization campaign in Kambe, the senior administrator explained the do's and the don'ts to avoid COVID-19 to the local population.
For run palava, now for maintain personal hygiene.
To avoid coronavirus, you must maintain personal hygiene. Business owners should make clean tap water and soap available. They should also respect social distancing in seating their clients. She has consistently violated social distancing as outlined by the government.
That one a violation. I go one go lock that house.
He promised to lock down business premises in Kambe that have failed to respect government measures outlined by the Prime Minister, Head of Government, and reminded the people of the realities of Donga-Mantum in handling an eventual COVID-19 case or evacuating patients to Bamenda, chief town of the region.
And when they expose ourselves, so if there's...
Why are you people exposing yourselves? Imagine an eventual coronavirus here. You know our health unit can handle such cases, and evacuating patients to Bamenda is very difficult considering the bad road.
They when I don't choose for die, we for here we don't deny for die.
In a synergetic move, the newly elected mayor of the Kambe Council, Musa Shameful, mobilized Kambe Council staff for a massive sensitization in Kambe and surrounding villages against COVID-19. Mayor Musa Shameful and Kambe Council staff sourced and acquired 30 movable 30 liters buckets with tap water, liquid soap and hand sanitizers to be planted in official spots in the town of Kambe, notably the Senior Divisional Office, the Kambe Funds Palace, the Main Market, the motor park, the town hall and other strategic places within the town of Kambe. Each of the hand-washing points will be controlled by a council staff, according to the mayor. Mayor Musa Shemfo also expressed his desire to work in synergy with the Kambe Health District, the district hospital, elite of the locality and administrative officials to keep COVID-19 out of the municipality.
Business activities in Bonamusadi and other parts of the Douala 5 subdivision were brought to a halt today, and the Bonamusadi market was shut down for persons coming from the Douala 5 council, notably the hygiene and sanitation team of the council, to disinfect the area within the context of the fight against the coronavirus pandemic. Manjikan Gebre has the details.
Commercial bike riders stranded in front of the Bonamusa, the main market in the Douala 5 subdivision. The main road passing in front of the market also very dry, with few motorcycles and cars circulating. Getting into the Bonamusa, the market, no business operator is present, as most of them had secured their goods by the roadside. This is part of the action taken by the authorities of Douala 5 to stop the spread of coronavirus, even though some stubborn business persons wanted the place to be opened, something others debunked. What pains me most is that people don't want that the market should be disinfected. Several media organs had talked about this exercise days back. It is good for our health, as everyone is fighting against the deadly virus. Within the market space, workers of the Douala 5 Council are seriously disinfecting the market and keeping it safe from any form of disease. It was because of this disinfection exercise Bonamusa the market and others based within Douala 5 subdivision were shut down. Activities are expected to resume after the disinfection exercise is over.
After 8 COVID-19 related deaths have been recorded in Cameroon and 284 confirmed cases, some people are still doubting the existence of the COVID-19 in Cameroon, and this is why the divisional officer of Banga in the Mongo division, Littoral region of Cameroon, told the inhabitants that COVID-19 is real, reason why they should respect all the government and WHO anti-COVID-19 preventive measures. And the call was made by the divisional officer of Mbanga, Vo Armstrong, who was on a sensitization mission at the Mbanga market today with officials of the council of Mbanga. Take a listen to the divisional officer of Mbanga, Vo Armstrong, in this extract selected by Smart Jikan Gebre.
Reminded the population of Banga on the necessity to respect basic rules of hygiene. The pandemic that we are all decrying, that's the coronavirus at this moment, is causing waves and taking away lives. We are not in any way completely free, because Banga being a commuter town where people come in and go out, there is danger of anything happening. So there is a very high necessity and urgency for people to practice basic hygiene rules that of washing their hands at any given time they might have touched or done any other transactions with their hands. I think that is what we were launching today, and we want to thank the council for already developing this medium of public washing of hands. They have installed recipients all around the whole town to enable the population wash their hands. I think that that is the principal role, and that is the only means or medium by which we are going to certainly break the chain of propagation of this virus.
The divisional officer of Mbanga in the Mungo Division, Littoral Region of Cameroon, speaking there. And the report coming up next, Immaculate Fogwe takes a look at the importance of wearing the face mask.
Since the outbreak of the acute severe respiratory syndrome known as the coronavirus, wearing a face mask has become a necessity. According to Dr. Jonas Sharma, persons wearing face masks have lower chances of being infected.
The known main mode of transmission of this virus is by person to person through respiratory droplets. Some of these droplets land on a surface and survive a few days. Some stay floating in the air for hours. Some may land on a host and start the cascade of the disease process. We all must wear face masks. This is not to protect oneself from getting the virus, but rather from its escape from the person that has it.
He adds that not all infected persons show symptoms, so it is better to wear face masks in order not to be infected by the virus.
We must assume that everyone is infected. If everyone in the whole world wore a mask for 6 weeks, the following would be the effect. 1. The volume or the number of cases will drop significantly, and therefore the healthcare system will no longer be overwhelmed and can manage cases with much ease than before. This is what we call flattening the curve.
Dr. Sharma equally frowns at the non-usage of face masks on televised programs in countries that have recorded an upsurge in a number of cases.
Until today, I still see on TV persons, politicians in session, the public in other places not wearing masks. And it is also where cases are highest in number. So I plead to the whole world to help control and bring down this pandemic by simply wearing your masks.
Cameroon's Minister of Public Health, Dr. Manauda Malachi, in his recent outing, called on Cameroonians to start wearing face masks so as to better prevent the spread of the coronavirus in the country.
The director of the World Health Organization has expressed deep concerns over the rapid escalation of the coronavirus pandemic, and he said that in the few days ahead, the world will reach 1 million confirmed cases of COVID-19 and at least 50,000 COVID-19 related deaths. And he said that it is critical to properly equip medical systems of affected countries. Listen to him.
As we enter the 4th month since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, I'm deeply concerned about the rapid escalation and global spread of infection. Over the past 5 weeks, we have witnessed a near exponential growth in the number of new cases, reaching almost every country, territory, and area. The number of deaths has more than doubled in the past week. In the next few days, we will reach 1 million confirmed cases and 50,000 deaths. While relatively low numbers of confirmed cases have been reported from Africa and from Central and South America, we realize that COVID-19 could have serious social, economic, and political consequences for these regions. It's critical that we ensure these countries are well equipped to detect, test, isolate, and treat cases and identify contacts. I'm encouraged to see that this is occurring in many countries despite limited resources.
The director of the World Health Organization has also urged all countries to ensure that food and other basic necessities are available, especially for vulnerable people. For this to be done by developing countries, the World Health Organization, the World Bank, and the International Monetary Fund have made a call for debt relief. Take a listen.
Many countries are asking people to stay at home and shutting down population movement, which can help to limit transmission of the virus, but can have unintended consequences for the poorest and most vulnerable people. I have called on governments to put in place social welfare measures to ensure vulnerable people have food and other life essentials during this crisis. In India, for example, Prime Minister Modi has announced a $24 billion package, including free food rations for 800 million disadvantaged people, cash transfers to 204 million poor women, and free cooking of gas for 80 million households for the next 3 months. Many developing countries will struggle to implement social welfare programs of this nature. For those countries, debt relief is essential to enable them to take care of their people and avoid economic collapse. This is a call from the WHO, the World Bank, and IMF. Debt relief for developing countries.
Amid the Anglophone crisis and the coronavirus pandemic, council officials of the Bamenda 1 municipality in the northwest region of the country have launched a general cleanup campaign to get the municipality rid of piles of garbage. Stellambo reports.
This is the custom junction in Bamenda 1 municipality. People of all walks of life converge here on daily basis to eat, but its beauty is hidden in trash.
We are removing all these temporary sheds here and we are sending them to the market. So maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks, this place will be very clean and calm for everybody to use for the population.
From wading, digging and opening up of gutters to picking up of unwanted trash, the municipality's head, Felix Mbiga, and councillors are here on an example showing mission.
By cleaning my town, it will show an example, because we cannot be developing an area where it's very dirty. So I've started by cleaning the area. I've come out with my workers and councillors who are showing the examples for the population that we are here to work. We've started at Custom Junction. Next week now we'll look for another junction or another quarter which is very dirty. We'll go out with councillors with the population there. We'll clean it so we can see we clean our environment clean.
Inspired, some inhabitants joined the campaign. I joined this campaign because I like a clean environment. So a campaign cannot be going on and I'm absent. You can't live in your house and expect someone else to clean it. And this is equally my municipality, so I'm encouraged to join the campaign. But heaps of garbage along the streets, blocked gutters with stagnant water are found almost everywhere within the city of Bamenda. Authorities are therefore appealing for all to be involved if Bamenda must regain her glory of yesteryears.
It is not a one-man show. It is a collective show. And with the issue of being collective, we are now saying that the population should take their city into their hands. Our garbage here, 80% is biodegradable. What we all know about biodegradable is that it is reusable. And once it is reusable, we may only have 20% to leave to his account to deposit. You cannot imagine somebody trims his hedge from the road and expects the garbage to be carried away. That is something that you can manage at your own level. That is very, very effective.
The municipal authority are bent. They say these efforts will not only end here at the customs junction.
Bostella reporting there from the Northwest Regional Capital, Bamenda. And Equinoxe Television has been monitoring a problem between some internally displaced persons and their host in Makepe in the Douala 5 subdivision. And the group of disgruntled internally displaced persons say their host has not been giving them the items coming from men and women of goodwill, but the host says he has been distributing the material and financial aid adequately to all the displaced persons. And we went investigating what has been happening there. For me, Armstrong Sanda reports.
Few months after Equinoxe presented the disturbing situation of over 300 internally displaced Anglophone Cameroonians housed by a displaced traditional ruler in the Makepe Misoke neighborhood of the Douala 5 subdivision, some of the internally displaced individuals began levying accusations against their host.
Why we are reporting him is because we discovered that Chief Mufu was using our image to become rich. Wow. Because all those things he has been receiving, all the gifts he has been receiving, it was for himself. Because what we have been receiving from there is not, he has never tempered to give it to him. If we can talk, if we can say that we receive some sachets of rice, then okay. Bags of rice, sardine, all things were coming in cartons. We have not received, we have not have a taste of it.
Then it is a very painful thing to me, for me to come, then I manage to live where I'm living, then somebody is using my image to enrich himself, while my situation is going worse.
After presenting themselves on camera as internally displaced individuals housed by the traditional ruler, the persons engaged a U-turn months later.
Things started entering. We saw that no, the government is really helping us, and really the things were helping, were coming in. Personal things, association was coming from north and right, everything was entering. But upon all that, the Chief Mufo in person, he could not give us that things in return as he told us.
Accusations rejected by the traditional ruler, who sees a group of people manipulated by some individual.
I am well embarrassed of all this problem, but let the glory be to God. I'm asking God to forgive them. They don't know what they are doing, because you cannot buy the finger that fit you yesterday. I have never, before God and man, taken a single franc in the name of IDP and used in my proper care. These are food in magazine here. I have even begged neighbors, because place was lacking, to pack food for them. Had it bad, I was a wicked man, I would have collected this food and said, I cannot just understand this kind of behavior. What is killing this, my sons and daughters, is that they have what they call big neck. You can question their sisters. They are from the Boo village also, Wum, Benka, Southwest, Kumba, all over. These are them sitting. Question them, you get the truth from them. I am well embarrassed in all this accusation. I cannot do anything on my own anymore. I'm in a police station. I'm in a brigade. I'm in a PG Bonanjo. I'm in the DO's office. I am in the social welfare. I'm in the special police.
He maintained that goods received were duly distributed to majority of the internally displaced persons of the Anglophone crisis, and the disgruntled ones were operating with a hidden and evil agenda.
The truth is that these children, there are people behind them, pushing them to say whatsoever. But you should not take laws into your hands. Say what you can prove in the court. These are living human beings. We have been here in days of sharing. Those who stay with me here, they are here. Those who are in the days of sharing. Ask just that lady, were you alone or you were with who?
Having formed a coalition with some individuals whom, according to Chief Dr. Joseph Mufo, have been in Douala for several years before the start of the Anglophone crisis, the disgruntled sets of IDPs staged a protest demonstration at the main entrance to his palace on March the 8th, 2020, destroying foodstuff received from their accused.
We went to the street so that if really those people received an envelope from him, the people worldwide, at least one person will hear our cry and they will ask, why are these children on the street? So that is why we decided to leave his palace.
Reacting to the incident, the traditional ruler said the individuals went angry because he prioritized internally displaced individuals in the distribution process over individuals who have been in Douala for years and wanted to benefit.
These other people, they benefit.
those who have been long in Douala, they came and registered themselves like IDP. I come to realize that I called them to order that, but look, they have been doing sharings of foodstuffs. You are not an IDP, but you have taken 6 mattresses. I have carried you to Dido Hospital. They have discovered that you have TB, that's tuberculosis, and you are not an IDP, and you have been more than 25 years in Douala. What you will do with this, your children and your wife, when I'm sharing 5 items, you will receive but 3 items instead of 5. The really IDP are to receive 5 items. He went behind now, called all his sisters. This is the persons of Fang, Augustine, with the TB. He called them now, he instigated them to take hostage at the entrance, or at my entrance here, to block donors not to come to the palace anymore.
The traditional ruler says he is, however, ready to listen to them. Chief Dr. Joseph Mofo said his non-governmental organization carries out numerous humanitarian activities beyond giving help to internally displaced individuals.
I am the president of an ONG, Crowder, Citizens' Right and Duty Association. This ONG is created since 2004. I have been helping Cameroon government. This is not my first help. I help Cameroon government in this particular palace to keep a nursery primary school for 2 good years without asking any fees. This is not my first help. All the electrifications of this quarter, I'm the one placing bulbs all over. I have built bridges with this ONG. We have been helping all Cameroonians because the ONG is nationwide. It's not just for the IDP.
The disgruntled sets of people are defiant, but the accused, Chief Dr. Mufo, wishes to see an end to the problems, as according to him, much time is needed to concentrate on the internally displaced individuals, whom he says have continued to come in numbers.
The Constitutional Council of the Republic of Cameroon has dismissed all the petitions filed by the Social Democratic Front's political party calling for the total cancellation of the legislative election rerun in some constituencies of the northwest and southwest regions of the country. Members of the Constitutional Council met today in the Yaoundé and after examination dismissed the 12 SDF petitions as unfounded, and the SDF had called for the cancellation of the March 22 legislative elections in 11 constituencies of the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon on grounds that it was marked by irregularities, including poor organizational flaws and security challenges. And the verdict was pronounced earlier today by the president of the Constitutional Council, Justice Clement, at Tangana after a hearing that was reportedly boycotted by SDF petitioners and lawyers. And the Constitutional Council is now set to proclaim the results of the legislative election rerun in 11 constituencies of the northwest and southwest regions of the country. And before we wrap up the first part of this newscast, we make a recap of latest information concerning the COVID-19 pandemic in the Republic of Cameroon. 284 confirmed cases recorded in the country and 8 deaths. The last occurred in the Boya in the southwest region of the country. And the Minister of Public Health, Dr. Manauda Malachi, was expected to to answer some questions from parliamentarians on the COVID-19 today. But after the Ngwaikele Glass House in Yaoundé was disinfected, the health personnel, House Speaker Kavayeke Jibril announced the postponement of the meeting. The meeting was postponed due to the absence of the health minister. The House Speaker said he was called to other duties. Coming up next, Talking Point. Thanks for joining us in Talking Points. We are receiving a consultant and public health international specialist, Dr. Dorothy John Kam. You're welcome.
Thank you. Good evening.
When you look at the evolution of the coronavirus in Cameroon today, as a medical expert, a specialist in public health, what you think about the management of this disease and or this pandemic, how it has been evolving, spreading very fast?
Yeah, what I'm going to say is that First of all, as a consultant in public health, we have to get involved the community. Concerning the coronavirus 19, as mentioned by the WHO, is a viral disease that really affects the respiratory tract infection. It's not an airway disease, it's a droplet disease, which means that it can easily be contagious in the community. So we have really to emphasize on the way people are going to manage their self in order to avoid the contamination. We have to emphasize in the hand washing and also the power of the mask. That's very important. But what I want to say is that the spread of the disease is going so fast, which means that the mobilization of the community is really weak.
In less than in just some few weeks.
A few weeks, the incidence of the disease is so high.
It's so high.
Instead to reduce.
It's got into close to 300.
Close to 300.
8 deaths.
Yeah, that's what they call emergency, public health emergency.
So it's already a public health emergency in Cameroon.
In Cameroon, so it's called now for the international consent. What I want to say is that I really want to encourage the Minister of Public Health for all what he is trying to put in place for us to reduce the contamination, the spread of the disease, that outbreak. But there's something that is going on because the community is not really involved.
That is where I was talking about the management of the pandemic, because a lot is being done to prevent the spread.
But
all the measures that have been taken yielding some fruits, however, but the figures are still increasing.
Yeah, the figures are still increasing. There's a lot of challenge we are facing, first of all, because we can say that we have to put the mask to prevent the spread of the disease. But we have to get involved. We have to make the community get involved in the idea of putting the mask, because people are putting it wrongly. So people can put it. It can stay more than 4 days, or they wash it and they put it back. Are you getting what I'm saying? That cannot be effective. Some people are talking about washing hands. Yesterday I went to the market. I realized that everybody is using the same soap to wash hands. I touch the soap, I put it, another person come and touch it. That's not hygienic.
Right. Now, first of all, the mask.
The mask.
Let's go gradually. The mask. How should it be worn? By who?
There's a
and what type?
Yeah. We have a lot of type of mask. We have the one that can be put only for 3 hours. Some can put only for 4 hours. Some can put for 1 day. 24 hours. But people are putting in for 3 days. Some people even wash it and put it back. That is not efficient.
What's the risk?
The risk is that mask can instead have another infection. Don't forget that the COVID-19 is a severe acute respiratory syndrome. So some people can be predisposed. We talk about cough. We talk about short difficulty of breathing. Yes. But some people can be asthmatic. They put it and they can inhalate some product coming from the mask. It instead gives some infection that can make them to be predisposed to the COVID.
Right. And then now, for how long should somebody put on a mask? And
as I'm saying, people that are selling the masks needs to be educated. We really need to talk to make something called information, education, and communication to the population and people that are selling those masks, because the masks can be like people are not sewing it like a clothes,
using
local material to arrange it and put it. This is because of poverty, lack of money.
Is it acceptable?
I'm not sure it's acceptable, because
Public Health mentioned something like this when he was indicating that for those who cannot afford for a mask every day, after every 3 hours, that will be around 1,500 or 2,000 or 3,000 a day. Can fabricate something with local material that they can wash and put on.
Yeah, I can agree, but if you want to fabricate something, you're not going to use any type of material. You have something that can produce a lot of cotton. You have something like some plastic tissue. That's not really a good material. That you cannot put it for so long, because if you put it for so long, you can inhalate something that can instead cause you another disease.
Another health complication.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, one of the medical doctors who was here indicated that those who want to put on the mask should consult a medical specialist to advise them on what type and how to use it.
That's it. Because you have to, as I'm saying, if you need to do something like health education, health talk, to those who want to really use those masks, like, how can I put it? Like they are their own business. Are you getting what I'm saying? They really need to be educated by health personnel.
Everybody is selling.
No, that is not fair. It cannot be appropriate. It cannot be appropriate. As I was talking, it's not anything that you are going to use to cover your nose. Don't forget, the COVID-19 is a severe acute respiratory infection. Don't forget, because it's going to affect your lungs, it's going to affect all the respiratory tract. So we really have to take care on what people are putting in their nose for more than 1 or 2 hours.
Now, washing of hands. You're talking about the same soap being used by many people.
Yeah, you know,
coming to wash their hands at the same place. And so.
As I was saying earlier, you know, when we talk about the public health issue, it's like we have to involve the clinical aspect, that's medicine, and the community health. The community health means that we have to allow the community to participate and be aware on everything we are doing to promote their health. And for that to be really be effective, we have to really put them down and try to give them health talk according to the condition we are facing in our country when health is concerned. Like somebody who wash hand, there's a way you have to wash your hand. It's not any type of water you are going to use to wash your hand. If you want to use a soap cannot be for everybody. You can also put a liquid soap and make it, press it, everybody used to wash. But I can't come and touch the soap and put it and somebody come also and use it. It cannot be effective.
Liquid soap?
The liquid soap can be really appropriate because somebody will be there to spray. They are not going to touch it. It's going to be like that hydroalcoholic gel.
Just a few drops.
Yes, then you use it, then you wash your hand. Because we have some liquid soap also. I think it's better.
And somebody should be there to
spray.
Because everybody will come and touch the bottle.
Yeah, put it back. See, I went to the market, I think 2 days ago. I was like, they said, Madam, wash your hand. Somebody was there to touching the soap. Then I'll come again, Madam, take the soap and wash your hand. That cannot be effective.
The risk is just
everywhere. The risk is just, yes.
Everywhere.
Just because of a lack of knowledge regarding the community. Somebody can say, people that are putting masks are people that are sick. Why am I going to put masks? Because it doesn't know the importance of that mask.
And there is an ongoing discussion on who should put on, who should not put on.
Who should put
everybody put on the mask?
As I'm saying, I realized some few days that it was not according to WHO, because we have to go to the resource. You know, it's not the airway disease, it's a droplet disease. When you put the mask, it's just because you're afraid that somebody can sneeze, then it goes directly to your nose, then it goes directly to your lung. But the problem is that you can still put your mask, but you touch a surface where somebody who's asymptomatic or symptomatic have touched, they are going to be infected.
If you don't wash your hands,
if you don't wash,
haven't touched it.
Yes, you're going to be infected.
All right. Another issue is the sanitizer. There are just too many types of sanitizers that we are seeing today. People who were selling clothes and now selling sanitizers. People who were selling shoes, other things have entered the business, and everybody is fabricating and selling sanitizers. So how to know the right one, the good quality, what will produce the necessary effect, that of killing the virus?
Yeah, there's a problem. You know, we are facing a challenge of poverty in our own country. Don't forget, we are still a developing country, and our economic condition is not really affordable. Then some people cannot really sustain to buy the expensive one. So people are trying to do it the way they want. As I was saying earlier, we have to create some intersectoral collaboration. People want to produce the sanitizer. Should be a collaboration with the health personnel so they can tell exactly what they're supposed to do and how efficient is the composition of that sanitizer. Because like there are some people that are using only like alcohol and glycerin, and the alcohol sometimes they have to dilute it again with water, make it less effective. just because of the economic condition. At that moment, the sanitizer is no more the sanitizer.
So, and the question now is how to know the one that is of good quality, of good composition.
How can we know the good quality? Because the good quality normally is supposed to have something like a posology or something like indication. The way
on the bottom, the prescription,
yeah, the prescription,
the content,
not the content, the indication and the pharmaceutical way to talk about the composition of the liquid inside, plus the doses of each component. So right now it's like everybody wants to do it because they want money. They don't even look at the effectiveness of the sanitizer on the COVID-19. It's turned to be like a game, a business. So what I want to, as I'm saying, I think that we have to call some health personnel and try to make a good collaboration between the health personnel and people who want to produce the sanitizer, so that they can come together and try to be really educated about the effectiveness of sanitizer and what they need to put on the liquid, alcoholic liquid, to make it really effective for the COVID-19.
All right, talking about the management of the pandemic in Cameroon, you indicated earlier that for it to be more effective, the communities have to be involved. Apart from education, health education, that should be given to the communities. What else should be done to get the communities adequately involved?
Yeah,
because when we look around, we see senior divisional officers, divisional officers, and even the governors, like the governor of the Southwest region, who threatened to arrest all parents who are sending their children to the streets to sell instead of keeping them at home. We hear these authorities shouting over people for not respecting, condemning the non-respect
of the isolation of
WHO measures.
Yeah,
so how to get them involved?
The problem that, as you mentioned about the name of those stakeholders, the governor, delegation, the headquarters, you know, you have to call them. You have to call a meeting where they're going to be involved, and they're going to make sure they work in collaboration with the health personnel. I keep on insisting, because you can't do something without somebody who is involved in the domain. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, because you can't stand, you are not the health personnel, then you want to do something that is really somebody's profession without having a lot of knowledge.
Without having a mastery of the technicalities of the issue.
And when you look at the principle of primary health care, who is like the objective is to promote the health of the community, right? You see, the first indicator is community participation. If we don't allow the community be involved in anything that we want to do when health is concerned, it's going to be a taboo. It's going to be a bias everywhere. Because, like, somebody can say, okay, my child is not going to school. What is he doing at home? Let me send him to go and say something to bring us money. It means that there's no knowledge. It's not aware about what is going on all over the country. You see, when you are taking a bike, you see some people are 3, 4 on the back, at the bike going somewhere. It means that social distance is not really respecting. It means that there's something going on. So there's lack of education concerning the governor, the delegate, the authority. Please let them be in collaboration with the health personnel, so that they can really give them appropriate education concerning the reduction of the incidence of the outbreak.
Now, government is reflecting on stringent measures that can be taken to prevent the spread of COVID-19, added to the measures that have already been taken this far, and considering the speedy increase of the number of confirmed cases and deaths in Cameroon, government is reflecting on tougher measures that should be taken. What are some of those measures that, if taken and respected, the COVID-19 figures will begin to drop in Cameroon?
First of all, I want to really appreciate the Minister of Public Health, but I really want them to make the community be really mobilized about the outbreak, because up to now they don't believe that the disease is really existing.
Somebody responded to the ministers a few days ago when he gave the latest updates on the situation of Cameroon, the number of confirmed cases and deaths and so on. Somebody came and wrote on his Twitter page and said, Mr. Minister, are you really sure this COVID-19 is existing in Cameroon, or is a political strategy, a legal strategy to swindle the country's money?
Good. So, as I'm saying, there are many people who don't even believe that the disease exists. Then we have to, as we are saying, we have to put some strategy in place to let them know exactly how the outbreak is turned to be a calamity, to be a pandemic. So what we have to do is that if people can organize, we can just invite the headquarters to organize a meeting and send in each quarter a health personnel who's going to give them the health talk concerning the disease. I think it will be better.
Health education should be intensified.
Yes,
sensitization should be intensified within the communities and so on.
And also, we don't have to, it's as if the rural area are not really involved.
The rural areas? The
rural area are not really involved because they can't afford television.
They don't have all the information, on the minister's Twitter page,
all those
on
things,
Facebook, on television and so on.
So we have to start in those rural areas to try to give them proper education concerning the COVID-19.
I think government has to do a little more because they are already doing something like that with the GO of Nkambe that we saw in this.
We went to
and the SGO of Ndonga Mantum Division and the GOs of other areas of the country who are intensifying sensitization and so on. Now, COVID-19, is it synonymous to a death sentence?
No, not really. You know, I think it's not something new. It's only that this time the mortality rate was really high compared to what happened in 2002. I mean, there's something going on. But it doesn't mean that it's a death sentence because, as I know, very soon it's going to stop.
Okay, there have been some cases that have been successfully treated, and some of the cases that unfortunately died.
And the World Health Organization is working very hard to try to find some treatment or some vaccine that's going to reduce the spread of the disease also.
And talking about treatment, there's an ongoing debate on chloroquine. Is it a possible cure? Dr. Raul seems to be saying something indicating that this is the solution.
Yeah, the problem is that we should not make a confusion between the preventive measure and the curative measure. Because people are taking chloroquine like a preventive measure. It's not a preventive measure. Because WHO said that when you have or you have tested positive with the COVID-19, then the treatment can be the chloroquine. And you cannot do it like a self-medication, but you have to be prescribed by the doctor according to your condition.
All right. And
because don't forget the side effect of chloroquine can also be heart failure.
And there's still ongoing research.
Yeah, and the research is still going on for the proper confirmation.
All right. Dr. Dorothy John Kam, consultant, Public Health International Specialist. Thanks for coming.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for today.